and welcome to the House of Unfamous. If you are new here, my name is Scotty Unfamous and I am your new fave multi-award winning author and sexfluencer, here to teach you guys how to live your best motherfucking whole life, bitch. If you have been here before, welcome back, bitch. So today I'm going to be discussing the popular new Netflix series Sex Life. So Sex Life is currently trending at number 3 on the Netflix trending chart as I make this video, and it is based off of the book by author BB Easton, and it's like a sort of memoir of her whole days. And the book was released in 2016 called 44 Chapters About 4 Men. I'm going to read out the IMDb description of what this show is, and then I'm going to get into my motherfucking opinion, and bitch, I have a lot of them. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my post-it notes, bitch. Sex Life is the story of a love triangle between a woman and her husband and her past that takes a provocative new look at female identity and desire. Exhausted from taking care of her 2 young kids and feeling nostalgic for her past, Billy starts journaling and fantasizing about her passionate exploits with her sexy ex-boyfriend Brad. The big heartbreak she never got over. But the more Billy remembers, the more she wonders how she got here. And then her husband finds her journal. Maybe it was about like 2 weeks ago my cousin came. Kira, you need to watch this show because there's so much sex. Now you know me, how is life? You only gotta say sex to me, I'll be like, I'm gonna watch it. If you haven't watched it yet, I'm just letting you know there's gonna be spoilers in this bitch. So I'm expecting like 365 days because that yacht scene, oh, that yacht scene, bitch, it had some of us thinking thoughts. We needed to be shaking our ass on a yacht in Dubai in a thong with "Are you lost, baby girl?" I wasn't expecting great things from the storyline or anything, but at the very least I said there's gonna be some fucking. So the main characters that you have in the show is Billy. This is basically about her life. Her husband Cooper, who is like this Ken doll, the perfect guy. He's loving, he's caring, he's so supportive, he got money, everything about this guy is just like perfection. And they have 2 kids. Then there is her best friend Sasha, who is the sassy black friend. Now as I watched the show, Sasha is the only motherfucking character I like. She was the only one in the show with sense. And then of course there is Brad, and he is the ex-lover from yesteryear who Billy just cannot get over. Now this is not to say that they were not attractive men. They were very beautiful men, but 2 blonde-haired blue-eyed men. Couldn't Brad have been like a sexy chocolate something? I'm just saying, like, the variation would have been good. The variation would have been welcome. When this show starts, we meet the happy couple. You know, it's very much giving like 2 kids and the white picket fence dream, Billy and Cooper and their babies in their big house. And Billy, she's just like a suburban housewife, and Cooper, he's like super work obsessed, but he's just like a doting father and an okay husband. He's not dicking her down. That's his fault. He's not fucking his wife. Basically, she's just bored in the house. She's just breastfeeding her baby all the time. I appreciated that maybe they were trying to desexualize breastfeeding and stuff, but every minute you see this bitch's nipples so motherfucking much in this show. Oh my god. Now the thing that really kind of drew me into the show as well is they were talking about, oh my god, there is full frontal male nudity. I was like, yes, let me see the dick. Let me see it. Let me see the dick once. The entire show once. And yeah, the rest of the show is this bitch's nipples and her crying and dry sex. The whole concept is, you know, she's at home, she's bored, she ain't doing nothing but breastfeeding and crying. So she's writing in her journal, you know, release her feelings, which I get. You know, I do that too, I journal. But all her journaling is about Brad. But obviously Brad is the toxic asshole and Cooper is like the safe Mr. Beautiful husband option. And it reminded me of something that my partner said to me about, like, you may marry Robert, but when you're old and grey and you're on your deathbed and you're thinking back on your life, you're going to remember your Raoul. And I said, he's the Raoul. If Cooper is the teacup ride, Brad is the roller coaster. The show follows it goes between two different timelines. It shows you Billy in her past with Brad, and then it shows you her future life with Cooper. I'm just gonna dive into the Brad timeline first because I just think it'll be confusing to go back and forth, back and forth. Brad is this super successful music producer guy. She meets him one night while she's in like college or something. Her and Sasha, they go to some performance of some guy called Kosi. The soundtrack for this film is fucking shit. At least with these films sometimes, like, even if the acting is not that great and the script is not great, at least the soundtrack is a bit, oh, that's a bop. No bops. It was bopless. We go to Sasha and she's backstage with Kosi and she's sucking his dick. His song wasn't even good. Why are you sucking his dick? This is just not realistic. Billy comes backstage and she's like, hey Sasha, are you ready to go? And Sasha's like, and so Billy's like, ah, you're so funny, I'm just gonna find my way home. Okay, Sasha, between the dick sucking, manages to tell Brad, who is basically there for this Kosi guy, to go and drop her friend home. That's all he was instructed to do. Some homeless man tries to do something to Billy, and then Brad comes in like, hey, you leave her alone, here's $10, go get it. Sorry, he's not even American. Hey, leave her alone, go get yourself a sandwich. He's Australian. He saved the day. Get in my car. So she gets in his car and they just randomly just start trauma bonding. She psychoanalyzes him. He is instantly intrigued because, you see me. Goes to his yard. Oh, why did you come to New York? She's like, I needed to get away from Georgia and I just wanted a big fast life. And he's like, oh, well, you should come and see New York from my rooftop. I also have a pool on my rooftop. So she's up there, they're talking. They've probably been in each other's presence for half an hour. They decide to fuck in the pool. I was just drawn to him. There was something between us. There was alcohol and he was fine and he was rich. And then when we see the shower scene, he also has a big fucking dick. That's what's between you, bitch. They have their pool sex. I was so underwhelmed. I just find the sex throughout the whole series dead. The only reason any of this is exciting is because they just refuse to fuck in a bed. They fuck I mean, there's a scene in the bed, I guess, but they just fuck everywhere but the bed. The sex is dead. Actor who plays Brad and the actress who plays Billy, they're actually a couple in real life. Now, really and truly, if you're a couple in real life, shouldn't I be able to see the fire? How do you not have sex in your yard? Because that was the energy that you needed to bring to this dead ass fucking show. You did not understand the assignment. After they've had their wondrous sex passionate night, he turns up at her college, uni, whatever the fuck. And she's like, it was supposed to be a one-time thing. He's like, well, I don't want it to be. So they start dating and they have lots of bland sex in weird places. One of the most annoying ones is he takes her to the subway and he decides to jump on the train tracks. And she's like, Brad, what are you doing? He's like, come down to the train tracks with me. Feel the danger. In the fucking subway tracks like a rat on the highway. He's like, the next train's not coming for 7 minutes. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Why are we on the train tracks? Oh, the reason he goes into train tracks is like, oh, I used to come here a lot when I was a kid to get away from stuff. Because obviously, like, he is the troubled, broken man. And trauma bonding is how they connect. His dad basically like left when he was 8 or something. And he's like emotionally scarred by that. They get down there. And they're just walking through the motherfucking train tunnel in the train tracks. Then, lo and behold, the train starts coming. I thought you said 7 minutes. More or less. She's like, we need to go back. No time, the train will catch us. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do this weird running and we're gonna go into some cubbyhole. They go into some fucking like dip in the tunnel and the train's fucking going past. Bitch, I would piss on myself. What the fuck? This is not sexy, but yet, they fuck in the train track tunnel hole. And the sex is still dead. On the cusp of life and death, the sex is still dead. They have sex in a bar, they have sex in a stairwell, they have sex in a nightclub, they have sex in the tattoo parlor where he gets 2 bees. That's fucking... He gets 2 bees tattooed to his hips because she's a bee, Billy, and he's a bee, Brad, and they're 2 bees. Oh my god, so romantic. Fucks him in the tattoo parlor. The whole time I was just thinking about Beyonce. So they're getting along happily, dating is great, sex is great, I guess. She goes to meet his mum, and then the stepdad turns up and is like, you're another one of Brad's women, one of many. He's just going to use and abuse you, dash away. This is what he does. He brings women into his wild lifestyle, and then he introduces you to his mum, and then he throws you away. Brad is now, he's angry, anger issues. He throws a glass against the wall. You fucking shut up. This is why your dad left. I just fucking hate you. You said he wasn't gonna be here. No, Brad, stay. Brad storms out, they leave. And she's like, calm down. And he's like, no, my stepfather's right. And I just don't even like you. You're not even my girlfriend. Why are you still here? Go away. She's like, no, you're just pushing me away because you're hurt. Don't do this to us. I know you. He gets in a cab and just leaves her on the roadside. She's in tears and she's at her apartment with Sasha and, you know, drinking Jose Cuervo and eating ice cream and just in her sweatpants and doesn't shower because she's so upset. Then Brad, lo and behold, turns up outside her house doing some fucking 80s The Breakfast Club 16 candle shit, throwing fucking rocks at her window. Billy, come out. I'm sorry. And then Sasha's like, bitch, don't you go down there. And she's like, I'm not gonna go down there. It's like, don't do it. I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, he ends up in the house. More trauma bonding happens. Oh, I'm so sorry. My childhood was hard. Forgive me. That is not a motherfucking excuse. When a man shows you that he is not emotionally mature and he don't know how to handle his fucking shit, but it's not cute. It's not romantic. They get more serious. They're all loved up, fucking galore. He comes home one day, she's like, my period's late. And he's like, oh, well, what are you gonna do about it? So she's upset, she leaves, sends a baby leather jacket. And she's like, oh my god. And he's like, I changed my mind, I want the baby. So she's pregnant and she moves in and they're all happy and stuff. During this time, he bought a engagement ring because he was thinking about proposing to her, but he hasn't proposed yet. He's not ready yet, but he's planning on doing it. She has a miscarriage. He's like, oh, I just need some space. You need space. You need... What came out of your womb, Brad? They're still together. They go up to Georgia to the cousin's wedding. He meets Billy's parents. I don't know what the fuck happened to this man, but he started drinking at this wedding and he's just sitting flirting with the fucking barmaid. This being Brad, that cannot be the worst of it. Billy comes out a couple of minutes later or whatever the fuck. Brad has his tongue down the fucking barmaid's throat. They're getting ready to fuck up against the wall round the corner. You would think that this is when she leaves. Nope. More trauma bonding. I was so scared that I wasn't going to be a good father and then we lost the baby. And it's my fault that we lost the baby because the universe says that I shouldn't have a child. Bitch, this is not fucking about you and this isn't a reason for you to do the shit you be doing. Instead of her leaving, because she doesn't leave after this either, she's there doing more trauma bonding. Oh my god. You need to go and see your father. You need to settle this thing within you. And he's like, yeah. She's like, if you don't go and see him, I'm gonna leave you. This is what makes you say you will leave. If he doesn't see his dad. Not the fact that he embarrassed you outside of his mom's house. Not the fact that he fucking told you what are you gonna do about the baby. Not the fact that when you had just had your miscarriage back from the hospital, 10 minutes into the house, he says he needs space. Not the fact that when you get to your bits, he's ready to fuck the barmaid at your cousin's wedding. Him not seeing his dad is the reason you will leave. Brad goes off to Wisconsin or wherever the fuck. But on his way, he stops off at this diner and he sees a father and his 2 sons and they've just come back from playing baseball or whatever. This saddens Brad. This particular set, it just pushes you over the edge. So instead of going to see his dad like he fucking told Billy he was going to do, the next time we see Brad, he's back at the yard And Billy's like, how was your dad? And he's like, I don't know, I never even saw him. She's like, you've been gone for 4 days, where the fuck was you? He was like, you pushed me too far, so I just took a bunch of coke and I was fucking hookers in the motel. What? He ends up kicking her out of the yard like, I never even loved you, like you ain't shit, bitch. This no self-respect having bitch is on the floor on her knees crying. No, Brad, don't do this. He didn't even come home to trauma fuck you. He went to go take coke and fuck random bitches. And you on the floor crying to stay. I have done some dumb shit for men in my time, bitch. We all have. But fuck. And that is basically the big breakup of Billy and Brad. Now we're going to get to the current timeline. So to the present time, she is Billy Connolly, married to Cooper Connolly, and she has worked for a suburban housewife life in Connecticut. How she and Cooper met, this is after Brad, she was all mashed up and stuff and trying to like reclaim her life and reclaim her time. She meets him on her college campus. He's like flirting with her, asking for directions, whatever. Now Cooper, he's fine. Everything you could want your husband, I mean not me, not for my husband, because my husband has to fuck me. But aside from that, he's everything that you would want a man to be. She's like, I've done the whole wild child thing. I've had my whole days, now I'm done. I need to settle down and be somebody's wife. Cooper, he takes her on some date and he's like, yeah, I want to live in a house in Connecticut with my wife and my kids and just selling the dream. And she's just like, yeah, he can't know none of my whole shit. This shit is a secret. Suppresses that part of herself in order to be seen as a woman worthy of a man like Cooper. Any man that you have to suppress your true self for should not be your life partner. If you're changing to just change yourself for the better, fine. But bitch, you was getting dicks in, like you was fucking. She was for the streets. She decides to be for the pavement when she meets Cooper. It kind of also plays into the whole respectability politics thing. Either the woman is the Madonna, like she's so pure and just perfect homely wifey material, or she's a whore. It sort of brings that into question, like in order to get a good man who's going to do the shit that you need him to do, be the person that you need him to be, you have to be this pillar of purity. Just to clarify, you do not, because my whole ass has been with Mr. for 5 years and he is a wonderful man. There's a right person for everybody. So they have their life, but you know, Cooper, he's always handling business. Everything is business, business, business. He's trying to make partner at his firm. He's like some investment banker. Billy, she's had her 2 kids and she's really just kind of forgotten about her career, forgotten about herself. This bitch is in the same nightgown for the entire film. You got money, bitch. All she does is look after the kids. She's basically having this sort of midlife crisis. Cooper hasn't fucked her since she had the new baby. And she's just down bad for some dick, bitch. She's just like, I can't take this shit. I miss Brad. You know how much you have to not fuck a person for them to miss the worst thing that ever happened to them. So she starts journaling in her laptop. She's just writing about all her sexcapades with Brad from back in the day and all the stuff that she and Sasha used to do. If I was finna write some shit like that, I don't know if it's the family laptop or some shit, but Cooper is just in the laptop. She ain't got no motherfucking password or nothing. Come to find out, his wife a hoe. He's like, what the fuck? And it's not just like she's just writing about these escapades. She's like, I miss him. Like, my husband ain't doing shit. Like, he don't fuck me like that. He don't do none of this shit. How emasculating. Imagine you are ticking every single motherfucking box and this bitch, they're talking shit on your good name. Wow. So he reads this and I'm thinking, oh shit, like it's about to go down. No. He's like, I see. I'ma do better. He doesn't tell her that he's ready, but he buys her a new dress and he takes her out on a date to see her favorite band, and he's like, yeah, call Trina to look after the kids. We're going out. Trina is one of their neighbors and also Cooper's friend who he works with, his wife. And Trina's all like, yeah, go out and enjoy your man. But she's looking at Cooper with husbandless eyes. Eyes are just on him. And I'm like, I don't trust this bitch. Billy, that's not your friend. But okay, let her babysit. You go get your dick, bitch. So they go out And you know, Cooper's all trying to be all romantic, and she's like, we should just go home, you was complaining that you was motherfucking bored, enjoy your night. So she starts to enjoy it, and then on the way home takes a little detour into one of his clients' backyards. And this is like some rich client, got this big ass pool outside, and Cooper's like, yeah, get in the pool, let's get naked, let's fuck in these people's pool. He's yamming her out and stuff, and she's enjoying herself, but this bitch is being loud, and I'm like, you're not supposed to be here. Naturally, the client is like, hey, what are you doing? So they run away back through the bushes, and they get in the car, and the police are chasing them, and they drive, and oh my god, it's the adrenaline, and she's getting the feeling of the danger of the rush. They get back to the house. Cooper is in the bathroom, and he starts picturing what he read in her diary again, and throws up. Eventually she finds out that he's read it. He admits that he's read like the nasty sex stuff that you're writing in your diary about your ex. What the fuck, man? Is this what you like? And she's like, yes, yes, fuck me like a slut, yes. Boom, bends her over the kitchen island counter thing, in the guts. He can't stay hard, it's shit. Wow. He's like, no, I can do this. Gets up, and it's like this weird kind of hate fuck energy. Is this what you like? And she's like, yes, keep fucking me, yes. Then he's just kind of going, and she's like, wait, whoa, 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 like you're doing too much. He's not listening, kind of like pushing her head into the marbled countertop and shit. Next day she's got some red mark on her cheek, some kind of bruise, which is not there in the next scene, even though it's the same scene. I think they forgot she had a bruise, I don't know. But yeah, so that was weird. So she's like, okay, like we need to talk about how you was fucking me yesterday. And he's just like, I'm going to work, make sure you get the car fixed. She does not stop writing in this diary. She does not put a password lock on her laptop. You, who wants to chat about your ex in detail, fuck it. He hasn't touched Billy again, he's not trying to fuck her, but he's there reading through her laptop in the middle of the night, wanking in the kitchen to the shit. After Cooper has fucked her all weird and she's all pissed off about it, she goes into the city to go see Sasha. Sasha's like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, I just need to talk. Turns around, Brad is there. Sasha is fucking Brad. 8 years have passed now, by the way, but Sasha ain't said shit to her. She's just like, we met in Paris and we had a couple drinks and one thing led to another, and I saw what the fuck you was telling me about. Bitch, the man can fuck, you got big dick, oh my god, like the sex is just, it's great. So since we come back here, I just didn't stop. Now that's mad, because you're not gonna be my best friend and fucking my long lost love, the fat bitch. So I'm like, ah, no, now they're gonna fall out and she's gonna be lonely. They don't fall out. They actually have a really good friendship. To be fair, they used to share men back in the days. This is regular for them. It's just that this happens to be Brad, so it's a bit deep. And Sasha is just kind of explaining like, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, I shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 blah. I like their friendship in this thing. They're very open, very honest. If they got something to say to each other, they motherfucking say it. They just got each other's back. The weirdness does not stop there. He decides he's going to find Brad. Finds out where he works, and he's just following this man around New York. This is how you know the man has money, bruv. Brad on his lunch break, he goes to his big fancy expensive gym. Cooper's like, hey, can I get a day pass? They're like, no, we don't do that, but you can pay £600 a month. He's like, fuck it, I'll just pay the £600. Here, take my card. You're gonna pay £600 to fucking look at your wife's ex-boyfriend. You can look at him on the street for free. He does a whole motherfucking workout, bitch, to watch this man. Brad comes off the visuals, he goes into the shower. Cooper now is in the shower too, still watching him. Ain't said nothing, no fucking words to this man or nothing, just there fucking watching him for £600. Brad turns around in the shower and you see this big old donkey dick bitch, and Cooper is upset. He's all hitting the wall like, damn. This dick was by this man's knees and it was flaccid, bitch. That's the only male nudity we get for the whole motherfucking show. Like, you see some arse cheeks, but don't nobody care about that. Show me some swing dick, bitch. The fuck? You gotta show it to me that one time and pitch it as the main selling point. It happens once and the rest of it is Billy's nipples. Anyway, he's like, I can't compete with this dick. No wonder she's still writing about him. And plus he was dangerous too, and he's rich. And what can't he do? I think her and Brad finally have successful sex, and then she's telling Sasha about it. Comes off the phone, and then her phone starts ringing again, and she just answers it, and she's talking like it's Sasha, but it's Brad. Caller ID exists. You can see that that wasn't your friend. Why are you surprised? And the thing is, Brad's number is saved in her phone. You didn't see it say Brad, B-R-A-D on the screen, but you just surprised as fuck. And he's like, I haven't seen you for years. I still think about it. And she's thinking, bruv, I just saw you. You're fucking my best friend. The fuck do you mean? Don't come tell me you're thinking about me and you miss me. And he's like, it hurts me to be away from you. Bitch, let it burn. She doesn't let it burn. She's into it. She is here for the drama. She hasn't had any toxicity in her life for 8 years. She was writing about him, and now here he is in the flesh. It's fucking her best friend. But here he is in the flesh. It's amazing. And it gets pathetic. That the obsession is just, it's a lot. She's just doing the most. One day she's out with her suburban mum friend, and she's like, my marriage is shit. My husband won't fuck me, and I keep thinking about my ex-boyfriend. Now these are just like, you know, the PTA mums and Trina. Remember that bitch that I said I don't trust? Trina's part of the group. And they're like, we're your friends, Billy. You can tell us they are not your friends. Listen, everybody's not your motherfucking friend. Sasha is your friend. These bitches are not your friend. Why are you telling them your business? Why are you crying in the middle of Soho? Shut up. So they're doing a my life is shit with my husband share time, story time at Trina's house. Brad calls and she's like, you can't keep calling me. And he's like, I'm gonna keep calling you anyway because boundaries do not exist. I know I should answer the phone. Trina kind of says to her, like, you know, if you're having problems in your marriage, you know, your husband ain't really fucking you, like, you can spice it up, but together. Billy didn't clock on, I clocked. I said, she's trying to tell you to go soon, bitch. I don't trust this bitch. Later on, still obsessing over Brad, still crying, still just having the deadest sex with Cooper. And he reads a chapter in her book about coital alignment technique. And this did pique my interest. It did. I said, oh, I would like to try that. So I looked it up. I paused the show, I did, and I went to go and look at what it was. I said, I'm gonna do that. He tries to do it. And she's just thinking, you fucking read my journal. And he's doing it wrong. Incorrect. Computer said no. And she's like, you need to move up, like go in circles, rock back and forth. And he's just like, oh fuck it, like I just can't be bothered. I can't do it. I can't fuck you like he did. Big man, have some pride. Her and Cooper are trying. She's trying to forget about Brad, even though he's still like kind of texting her on the low, whatever. She calls Sasha and she's like, do you know what? You can have him. You can have Brad. It was 8 years ago. I'm happy in my life. Meanwhile, she's crying. She's crying on the phone. I'm happy in my life. He is great in bed. And enjoy the dick. Sasha being the down-ass bitch, well, that she was. That she is, but was. Brad turns up at her house one night and she's like, nope. We're not doing this no more. You're fucking with Billy and we shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, Billy said I can fuck you. And he can't take the fact that Billy don't want to fuck him. So while Sasha goes into the bathroom, he picks up Sasha's phone. This show and the lack of passwords. And he calls Billy and he's like, did you say that I can fuck Sasha? And she's like, yeah. Hangs up the phone. Video calls back. If you're fine with it, then let's see. Leaves the phone on the side. Sasha comes out the bathroom. He's putting moves on her. She's like, nah, I'm not on it. I'm not. Leave me. Go away. No, I just don't. Okay, give me the dick. It's fine. This was the only sex scene I thought, this looks motherfucking sensual. And maybe it's just because Sasha is a bad bitch. It's simple. It's just fucking up against the wall, but this is a sex scene. I'm feeling this. It was too short. The FaceTime call is still going, and Billy did not hang up the phone. No, she decided to find a cozy corner in the dark in her house and watch her ex-boyfriend, love of her life, fuck her best friend. But it gets worse. She is also masturbating to her best friend and her love of her life ex-boyfriend fucking. Her and Sasha, obviously, like I said, they're Cody's. Billy goes to find her. They kind of link up and they're like, yeah, Sasha's like, I have something to tell you. I fucked Brad again and I'm sorry. She's like, I know, I watched you lot fuck and I know that that's weird, but I did it. And they're just both fine with this. I'm not, if you like it, I love it. Now, going back to Cooper, because obviously he is struggling with this shit as well. And his boss, Francesca, listen, Francesca's a bad bitch. And she likes Cooper, innit? She's just sexy with it. She's just putting the moves on him. Like, listen, if your wife isn't doing what she's supposed to do, me, bad bitch Francesca is an option for you, Mr. Married Man. At first, Cooper's like resisting, But obviously this stuff is mashing up his confidence. His friend Devon, stupid Trina's husband, is like, hey, you just need to feel like the hot boy again. You need to have a hot boy summer night. If she's fantasizing, you can fantasize too. She's going to see him, you could go see your exes too, bitch. The fuck. But Cooper is just Mr. Good Guy, and he's just not on none of it. Cooper decides that he's gonna talk to Brad again. He just busts up in man's office, and then Brad is like, oh, you again? Like, yeah, I knew it was you the whole time when you was following me. Did you like looking at my dick? That's the dick that fucked your wife. I don't understand how people are not getting punched up in the shoe. He's like, stay the fuck away from my wife. But it's like, yeah, you know, I've been texting her, whatever the fuck, just stirring the pot. Like, I ain't done nothing, but I could. You see that thing thangin'? Cooper just must feel just fucking sick to his stomach, because what did you say to that? Cooper goes back to his house and he's just fucking mad. You and this Brad needs to stop. You're writing about him. Like, are you still in love with him? Instead of her saying no, that shit. I love you. Like, I love our life. Brad is with Sasha now. Wait, technically it's not alive, but they're not together. Billy, you know they just fucking. We should go on a double date. Why? What in your stupid head says, let me meet up with the most problematic man in the world and sit my husband in front of him? And Sasha's basically like, bitch, is you stupid? But she's like, I need to save my marriage. They go on this double date, and as expected, it is fucking awkward as shit. It's just like a pissing contest between who loves and knows Billy the most. Brad is just there, staring in her face, all lustful and shit, throwing his little shade, and finds out that, you know, she's just at home with the kids and she's just forgotten about life. And he's like, but this isn't like you, Billy. Did you finish your degree? And she's like, no, I had kids and it's fine. I'm fine with this. The Billy I knew. Listen, this is not the Billy you knew. This is married Billy 8 years on. It's just getting too much. And she's like, listen, I need to go to the bathroom. You lot are just doing too much. This is so motherfucking awkward. I'm like, what part of you thought that any of this was gonna go well? She's in there crying again. He bursts through the door. What are you doing in here? I love you, Billy. You're the one for me. There was never anybody else for me but you, Billy. And I'm just like, you don't own the fucking restaurant. They've been gone for a while. Cooper comes, figures they're together. Banging on the door's locked. That must be mad. The man your wife is trying to convince you that she's not doing nothing with is now in the toilet with him, and the door is locked. Door opens, he comes in, he's mad as hell. He's like, fuck this shit, I'm done with this. Storms off, just leaves her at the restaurant. She's just crying. Sasha is just like, bitch, you're a fucking idiot. This is a dumb idea. You're doing dumb bitch shit. You're gonna lose your fucking man for this dickhead man that ain't no motherfucking good for you. Have you forgotten that he kicked you out? So Sasha leaves too, and Billy's just on the curbside. I don't know where she's walking to. Brad is like, I'll take you home. The first thing that came to my head, I said, no, this man doesn't need to know where you live. Get to the house. You got babies now. Can I see them? But this is Billy, and good decisions are not her way. It's just bad decisions and vibes. That's it. She lets him in the house. She's like, these are my children. And he's like, I'm glad that you got to be a mum. Obviously, they're both kind of thinking, we could have had a baby, but we had a miscarriage. Did you also forget how he acted when you had the miscarriage? Cooper doesn't come home that night, innit? He is at bad bitch Francesca's house. He ain't do nothing. He just goes there and like says all his problems, falls asleep on her couch because he's the good guy. And I'm just like, you don't deserve any of this. You're fucking weird. But you don't deserve this. For whatever reason, Billy goes to see Brad again. I'm different. I've changed, Billy. And she's like, I need to know. How did you change? You have a whole fucking husband and kids that you are on the brink of losing, but you must know this information about this ain't shit ex of yours. Cooper's belling off her phone like, where are you? Where are you? She's caught up in Bradland. They're in the bar where they used to fuck. He's trying to like put the moves on her, and she's like, no, we're not doing this. And then realizes that Cooper's sending her all these messages. Come home now or you're going to lose everything. I'm going to take the kids. Gets back to the yard. The yard's empty. Kids are gone. I'm like, oh no, he really took the children. Oh no. It just turns out that Cooper was riding around with the babies because they wasn't sleeping. And she's like, I thought I lost you. So now finally she's like, I'm going to get my priorities in order. I'm going to get my shit together. She does not. Then she has the bright idea, a zillion catastrophes later, to keep writing in the journal, but instead to write nice things about her husband. Bitch, why you ain't do this the first time you found out he was in there? common sense just doesn't factor into this show. Then this Trina bitch that I don't like, the husbandless eyes Trina, invites them to a sex party. This is just real fucking suburbia gone wild. So Cooper, he's like, all right, let's give this a go. Like, I need to please my wife. Like, I love my wife and I want this to work. So he's kissing up on her. For some reason, everybody in the party finds their kissing like the most enthralling fucking thing. They're all having threesomes and shit, eating ass on the windowsill and shit. But kissing is wow. Let's look at this. So everybody in the party forms this big old watch circle around them to watch them kissing, and he's undressing Billy and he's just trying to just be into it, and she's like, no, once again with the resistance. I don't want you to be this person. Just basically like, I want all the danger, but I want the danger from Brad. Like, you are Mr. Safety Option. Like, stay in your motherfucking lane, bitch. I didn't sign up for this. She just like moves away, and then Trina comes in her fucking lingerie. This fucking bitch. I've been fantasizing about this. I'm going to suck your dick. Cooper is looking at Billy and she's like, no, don't motherfucking do that. But he's mad now because he's like, I've been fucking trying everything. Do it. I said, Trina is already ready with her fucking loose jaw. I never liked this bitch. She starts sucking his dick in the middle of the party, and Billy is just standing there just fucking mortified. But she stays to watch until her husband busts a nut in this bitch's mouth. You think that if your mouth went on my man's dick and I said no, that I'ma stand there and watch, bitch, I'ma kick you in the back of your motherfucking head. Billy is crying again. And goes to like storm out of the party. Trina's husband stops her. Oh yes, I've been thinking about this too. I want to do all the stuff with you that you've been writing about in your journal that your husband's been telling me about. She's obviously not on it. Also, Devon, he is not it, but Cooper now comes and sees Devon trying to put the moves on Billy, and he gets mad. And he fucks him up. And I said, finally somebody is fighting. You should have punched Brad, but finally somebody is fighting. He fucks Devon up. But then I'm also thinking, you just got your dick sucked. Devon's like, my wife just sucked you off. What the fuck? Why can't I fuck your wife? A mess. Billy and Cooper, they're just on the outs. They're back at home. He's not fucking talking to her. His arm is in the sling. He had to go to the hospital, bitch. This fight got real. And he's just like, I don't even want to look at you, bitch. And she's like, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what I did. You let another bitch suck your dick and fight me. I'm not fucking sorry. Good. Break her other arm. The fuck? Now, remember I said that she shouldn't have showed Brad where she lived. Why the fuck is Brad outside of her house like Joe from You? So he's like having this big talk with her. I'm changed. I'm so different. And I love you. You're the one for me. I never got over you. Love my life. Proposes to her in the fucking bush by her house. After she's just come back from the sex party with her husband. She says, nah, I'm with my husband. I love my husband. You had your chance. You fucked me up. Like, I've been writing about you and stuff, but I'm just remembering the good stuff, innit? Like, you was really a dickhead. This is the first good decision you've made this entire show. Well, on episode 7, there's 8 episodes. Cooper has gone to see Brad at his house. And they're having this big discussion about who should get Billy. And I'm thinking, the audacity of men. Brad's like, nah, like, she told me to fuck off. Like, she said that she wants you, like. And he's like, no, she doesn't. She wants you. And he's like, nah, listen, big man, like, I was shit for Billy. Like, the kind of man that she needs, you are the person that she was always trying to make me into, anything. Like, Billy loves you. Like, she's in this thing. So Billy's back to, like, housewife life. And Trina has told all the other mums that it was Billy that brought her to a sex party and has basically turned them against him. And they're even being mean to Billy's child. Imagine kids are coming over to play with her son and he's like 4 or something, and mums are like, oh no, go play with Annabeth. Listen, I will fight you. Don't fucking do that to my child. Are you dumb? And they were like, oh, you're a whore and we all know that you're cheating on your husband. And Trina said that you was doing this and Trina said you was doing that. Remember when I said that everybody's not your friend? Listen, sometimes it's fine for people to be your acquaintances and your associates and your colleagues. They don't need to be more than that. Not everybody's your motherfucking Bridgerton, bitch. You should have kept your shit to yourself, because now all these fucking bitches is using it against you. Then it's some kind of international something, like something that the kids have to do for some school event. Cooper is supposed to be there. He ain't turned up. All the bitchy mums are, oh, your husband ain't here. Well, probably because because you're a whore. Every time a child tries to come over to Hudson's little booth, they're like, no, go over there. I'm just like, why are you bullying the baby? Billy decides that she's gonna have a word with the moms, and she's like, listen, you're not gonna make me feel bad for wanting sex, you fucking sexless bitch. Your pussy's dried up. She won't say that, but that's what she means in her heart. And Trina, you was the one that took me to the sex party. Like, she's basically hotting up all the moms. Cooper finally turns up. They do squad, boom, shut down. They leave. They take their Hudson baby. They're like, let's go get ice cream. Family time. They had a real discussion. He's like, yeah, I went to see Brad and he told me that you told him you don't want him and you want me, and everything is cushy. And then she's decided, you know, she's gonna go back to school, so she's studying again. Life is going sweet. He's inviting her to come in the shower and shit. They're having more boring sex. The babies are happy. He is happy. You are mostly happy. But that does not last. Sasha has written a new book. This is another thing I liked as well. Sasha was a hoe, but she was a motherfucking intelligent, brilliant, rich bitch hoe. Like, she was just on her shit. So she dropped her third book or something, and she's doing a reading. Brad is at this reading. I don't know why Sasha invited him, but he's there. And all of the hard work that Billy had done over these months goes out the motherfucking window. This bitch starts crying in the reading. She's just fucking shaking and shit. I'm so tired. That's what pushes her back over the edge. She just decides after that she's gonna finally get the donkey dick from Brad. Cooper has put some kind of tracking device on Billy's phone. You see the tracking app and it shows this bitch going to Brad's house. After all of that. Meanwhile, Cooper's on the phone to Francesca like, yeah, I can't do this shit no more. And then it ends. That's the end of the season. So on my 5-star scale, I'll give it a weak 3. Because really I want to give it a 2, but it wasn't as terrible to get a 2, but it was not good. It was like watching a train wreck. Like, it was bad. The acting wasn't that great. The soundtrack was in the fucking pits. The sex, that should have been the fucking saving factor at the very least, did nothing. Nothing. But I did find the whole character study of a woman who kind of loses herself into motherhood and wifely duties, having this sort of like midlife crisis kind of thing. That was interesting to look at. I won't be watching season 2. I think it was a woman. Did they have a woman director? Because if they did, that's even worse, because you were showing me too much tits. I saw more titty than I cared to see. 5.6 rating on IMDb out of 10, and it has a 31% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I told you this is rubbish. But if you really want to watch a show that had some good fucking sex in it, blue is the warmest color. Now this is lady sex, okay, this is lesbians, but the sex scene, bitch, that shit was passionate. It's also a French film. That film made me want to fuck a lady. Lesbians have the fun. The Secretary is another good one with Maggie Gyllenhaal. It touched on the BDSM relationship, but it's more nuanced. It was hot. Maybe I'll do a video on like my top 10 sex shows, because they're not all coming to my head now. But yeah, this ain't it, chief. What they missed is that the book by BB Easton, the 44 stories about 4 men or whatever, like, that book has loads of praise. It's like, oh my god, it's so funny and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, why couldn't you take the hilarity of that and put it into this? Because this was so serious and dramatic, and I know that's what they were going for, but I just feel like they missed the trick. Like, you can do sexy and do realistic. Like, it was giving passion flicks. So that is what I thought of this show. If you guys watched it, let me know your thoughts below, bitch. And you can go to motherfucking down. Even if you disagree with me, I want to hear those thoughts too. If you liked it, let me know you liked it. If you hated it, let me know you hated it. If you thought, meh, if you stopped watching it, whatever. I just want to know your thoughts on this show. If you haven't watched it, will you be watching it? Or are you just like, bitch, you put me off the shit? If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more of my videos, feel free to check them out and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you are notified when a bad bitch uploads. As usual, I love you, my beautiful unicorns of sunshine and wonderment and sluttery. And I will see you next time. Bye.